Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. You are watching a brand new episode of ExcaliburCCGTV. I am Chris, my ever-faithful co-host Randy here, and we are Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana, as well as in Texarkana, Texas. You can come visit either store and pick up great and awesome things. Guys, every week we come together to tell you about the storylines, new number ones, and our favorites that are coming out for that week. For this week, we are talking about comics for August 20th. And guys, you can always check out what we're doing with our Facebook page, our Twitter link. Those are all down below. And be sure to subscribe and thumbs up. I didn't check. Have we broke 400?
No.
Oh, we're on the edge, guys. Help us out. We're right at 400 subscribers, but we quite haven't broke that barrier yet. So do what you can. Share. Tell somebody about the show if you like it. We really appreciate it. Before we dive into things, an announcement real quick. What's going on with the Arklatex Comic-Con, Randy?
What's going on is that it is going to be going on. The last 2 days here in August. Wishing it was September, possibly cooler weather to come upon us here. But the last 2 days, which would be the 30th and 31st, Saturday and Sunday, we will be having the Arklatex, I say we, there will be the Arklatex Comic-Con going on in Texarkana.
Exactly. And guys, it's a 2-day event. You can go to arklatexcomiccon.org to find out more information, directions, guests.
Yes, we'll have a space station, whatever you want to call it, set up there. Not a space station, but space or a station.
A station.
Set up there.
That's cool. So we'll be there. There's going to be other vendors and stuff there with their wares. There's going to be celebrity guest stars there. There's going to be fans of just about anything and everything, and we do have them here in the Arklatex area. So I know one of my coworkers plans on taking his daughter there.
Yeah,
because she's a big manga fan. So
we just had some people leave the store that were also going to be going.
Awesome. So guys, August 30th and 31st, 2-day event. arklatexcomiccon.org for more details and have fun with that. Moving on to the storylines, we have several that we're going to be covering today. What would you like to start off with, Randy?
I'll start off with the one that's probably, DC's story that's catching the most attention right now, and that's Robin Rises. Yeah. That starts with Batman and Robin, number 34. Once again, it is being called Batman and Robin. With this, it looks like Batman might have to go toe-to-toe with the Justice League's Lex Luthor if he wants to find Damian's body. So, I thought that they had found the body. I guess they haven't found the body. Someone hasn't been reading. So, maybe you can tell us what's going on with that exactly. But that's what's going to be happening in the Batman and Robin book this week.
That's pretty much what they had. They had the body, but then it got taken away. So now they're still chasing after it.
This guy knows.
Moving on, guys. Wolverine Annual number 1. We bring up this annual because it is part of the 1 Month to Die storyline that's been going on in the Wolverine title. In this annual, we get to see Wolverine, what's her name? Jubilee and her adopted son, Shogo, go on a wilderness trip. And it's Wolverine. Yeah, it can't be that bad. But as always, something's probably going to pop up to to change those plans. But it looks like a little father/adopted daughter, adopted son, grandson type action adventure. So, and it is tying into the 1 Month to Die storyline. So be sure and check that out.
You're talking about Wolverine father slash. Sneaky,
oh, dude, I did it. I didn't even know.
I want you guys to know, I take so much time. This guy here copy and pastes information. I take so much time to read information and write out this well thought out. And then he goes and takes the thing to talk about, and I don't get to, Wolverine, Jubilee, and Shogo go on a camping trip. No, it's not the beginning of some joke. It's a little father, kind of daughter, kind of adopted son, bonding time before Logan's ultimate demise. See, I have fun with what I write.
There you go. That did sound better, I'll be honest. That sounded better.
Some of the other ones, I can't help. There's not a whole lot there to work with. Like, within the Doom storyline is now carrying over into Supergirl with number 34 this week. Kara must deal with the fallout of the green kryptonite skies that are over a dead Earth. I don't know if it's our Earth that this is happening to. Where did all the dead people come from? Where are all the live people? I don't know. We'll find out. But she's going to have to face off against that and some other horrors.
Yeah. So that Doom storyline's kind of transformed into something else now, right? We're going into Last Sun.
Yeah, well, it's still Doomed, but it's a part of it called Last Sun.
Okay, there we go. Moving on, guys, Original Sin. We have several tie-ins for that event this week, including Original Sins number 5, which is the last issue of this particular miniseries, which we get to take a look at the Young Avengers versus the Hood, and that fight reaching its climax, as well as the person who is behind the assassination of the Watcher. Looks like we may get to find out what their original sin is in this issue.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call it an assassination, though. Their killing of the Watcher. Because I've always thought the assassination had to do with, like, a political person or something like that.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
I guess it's just a straight-up murder.
Straight-up murder. Straight up murder. Also along those same lines, we have Nova number 20 coming out. This guest stars Rocket Raccoon for Rocket fans. And this is taking a look at what happens next for Sam after he discovers the secrets of the Black Core.
Exactly. I want to know a little bit about that. What's going on with that?
We'll see.
So, guys, and the last one that we have for Original Sin, Daredevil number 7. And this is one of my favorite comics as it is. But this one is an Original Sin tie-in. And we get to see Daredevil in Wakanda. Yes, it makes sense because he's on the trail of his mother, who has gotten into trouble and been sent there. And this issue, we may get to see what her greatest sin is as well. So I'm really looking forward to that because there hasn't been in recent years, especially there hasn't been a whole lot to do with Matt Murdock's mother.
Not since Kevin Smith began his run on Daredevil.
And that's at least 10 years ago. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's a long time ago. So I'm really excited to see what Mark Waid is going to bring to that aspect of Daredevil in his past and how his mother factors into it all. And that's what we got for the storylines for this week. But
yeah, just like we did last week, to let you guys know, selfie covers that are coming out this week from DC Comics, Batman and Robin number 34 and Teen Titans number 2. That looks like that's all of the covers that are going to be out there for you. So if you like the covers and are wanting to pick them up, they're the covers to look for.
Those are the selfies. Very cool. Very cool. Guys, before we move on to the new number 1s, I believe it's time for
Question of the Week.
Question of the Week, and that comes from Randy. Randy, what's it going to be, bro?
We're going to take a look at, and this is maybe to help people who are just getting into comics, haven't only been reading a couple of years, that they can go out and find something that was a good comic out there that maybe they don't know about or haven't known about, or for maybe there's something that is a new comic that they started reading, liked, and then it just ended. So this week's question is, what is a comic that series that you enjoyed that ended too soon, or that you would like to see revived? So, give us one or two suggestions there.
Go ahead and start us off.
Okay, for me, hands down, the number one best comic that I miss is Checkmate. I love Checkmate. And not just, the soldiers there. I liked when they had the superpowered, the meta-humans as part of this Checkmate group, policing the world. That, and then my other one, I loved Secret Six. Gail Simone's Secret Six was such a good book. And Suicide Squad started off with some of that feel, but has not had the same feel as that. Both those DC books that were just fun is my best way to describe them.
That's very cool. When you mentioned Checkmate, I went way back.
Oh.
I went way back. It made me think of an old DC series called Haywire.
Okay, yeah.
I remember enjoying that many years ago.
Now, that was actually Milestone, was it? No, that's Hardwire.
Hardwire was Milestone.
Yeah.
This was Haywire, and it was a guy with a suit of armor. But I remember bits and pieces of it. I do remember that I enjoyed that series. But that was like the first Checkmate. Around this time, the first Checkmate, not when Greg Rucka came on later and did his own stuff with that. I remember that falling. But I'm kind of at a disadvantage with this question because some of the stuff that I have liked that has ended has come back recently, like Bloodhound.
Yeah.
that has come back.
Speaking of Bloodhound, I'm excited that apparently they've gotten the rights to it, and that Dark Horse is going to be putting out the collection of the Mighty.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll see new issues of the Mighty, because that was a damn good read, too.
I never read it, but Tomasi wrote that, if I'm not mistaken.
Tomasi, and I guess you say it like it's spelled, Keith Champagne?
Yeah, I think
they were the duo writers on it there. So
that was one I missed the boat on.
Really good one. And you know who the artist was?
Was it
Chris Samney.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I totally missed that one, guys. I remember it being, when it came out, and I remember it getting reviews, but I missed the boat on it because I guess when I read the solicitations or something, it just didn't click with me.
Yeah.
But now, in hindsight, like Peter Tomasi also had that, the Light Brigade.
Yeah.
He has that now collected. I haven't read that, but I want to. I missed the Mighty. I did. I missed the boat on that, so I'm gonna have to get that.
Yeah, you were mentioning Bloodhound. I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. Fine. But as I said, Bloodhound was one that ended too soon for me, but now has been brought back.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I really had a lot of fun with, though. It wasn't a series; it was a storyline that I would have loved to have seen more of, because I enjoyed the world in which it took place in, was the Old Man Logan storyline. I would have loved to have seen that branch off into its own.
We could have done a question just on that, because
I know.
the Age of Apocalypse and Flashpoint were both awesome storylines, also, that you would have loved.
There we go. I'm screwing up the question, guys, because I'm a little off balance. What can I say? But yeah, more recently, though, in true form to your question, I want more of Buzzkill.
Yeah.
That miniseries, and there was something mentioned about it being a continuing or ongoing series, but I have yet to see a 5th issue.
Oh, okay.
And I really enjoyed that series. So officially, that would be my answer.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm not going to waste any more time, guys. We'll move on. You tell us below. A comic that ended too soon for you that you want to see more of, and think outside the box. Whatever it may be, tell us in the comments below, because we want to know. And we have a ton of number ones.
Yes, we do.
What you want to start off with?
I'm going to start off with what I am looking forward to the most, and I'm going to leave all the ramblings of all these names to you for the second one. The Fade Out, number 1, is coming out here. This takes place Hollywood, 1948. What we have, the story revolves around a noir film that just doesn't seem to be wrapping up here. It revolves around a writer who's plagued by nightmares of the war and of some sort of a secret that he's, I guess, harboring here. And also it revolves around the death of an up-and-coming starlet. And it revolves around this studio mogul and his chief of security, head of security, who they're really trying to push the limits of the industry as far as, I guess, the noir films go before the bottom falls out on them with the end of the war happening here. This is going to be Brubaker and Phillips with their first story that starts off their 5-year epic image deal where they, whatever they can imagine will be produced. So this is a first story and seems to be a pretty exciting one to me. Guys, if you haven't read Brubaker and Phillips before, seeing that tandem, you have to pick this up. You will not be disappointed. Yeah, and that's the start of something beautiful. Yeah. Guys, the big one from DC this week is Multiversity number 1. This is Grant Morrison's brainchild in regards to the DC Universe, and not just the DC Universe, the DC Multiverse. Yes. This series is going to explore all 52 variations of the DC Multiverse. And I got to see an interview on Comic Book Resources with Grant Morrison, and he was saying how he hammered the crap out of this to make this accessible to people. It won't be confusing, so it will just go from A to B to C to D, so people can follow along. Because let's be honest, he's notorious for some of his stuff not being that accessible. Well, comprehensible.
How about that? There we go. That's probably a better word. But guys, moving on, we're going to be looking at all these different Earths, and let me tell you a little bit about them. We're looking at the Vampire League of Earth 43,
yes.
the Justice Riders of Earth 18, Super Demon Doc Fate and the Super Sons of Superman and Batman, the Rampaging Retaliators of Earth 8, the Atomic
Earth,
the Rampaging Retaliators of Earth 8, the Atomic Knights of Justice, Dino Cop, Sister Miracle, Lady Quark, the Legion of Sylvanas, the Nazi New Reichsmen of Earth 10,
yes.
and the latest, greatest superhero of Earth Prime, you. So guys, in this first issue, we're looking at the President Superman of Earth 23 that uncovers a threat to reality. And we get to see him face that with his band of heroes that also includes Captain Carrot, as you've never, ever seen him before.
Yeah.
I think is this like a 12-issue maxi series?
No, this is not. This is a one issue.
This is
what this is. And then every month will be other one issues coming out.
Okay.
There may be 12 in all, but they are not going to be listed 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
So you cannot rely on that to give that information to your retailer to put you down for the book. What this will probably do is something very similar to the Seven Soldiers, where he has number 1 and then probably a bookend number 2 at the end of it. I don't know for sure, but I just know from all the previews that have come out, there has not been a Multiversity number 2 with that. There have been randomly named other titles in which you'll have various artists drawing. Ivan Rice is going to be your artist that joins them this issue.
Exactly. We're going to see some Frank Quitely later on.
Doug Monkey.
Yes. I love that idea. I love that. So it's going to be, like Randy said, I guess you could go to your retailer and say, hey, just put me down for everything Multiversity.
Yeah.
Because it will be just individual issues with different titles. So,
but if you say the Multiversity series, there's not really a series. It's a series of one-shots.
There we go. And expect some crazy fun, madness, mayhem from Grant Morrison. And we are moving on. What's next for you, sir?
Next up for me is the Eisner Award-winning series that's relaunching from Dark Horse Comics. Dark Horse presents number 1. Yes. Why am I telling you about this? Because this has Jeff Darrow and Frank Miller's Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot in tow with it. Also, you're going to get to look at, they'll have Kabuki and Resident Alien and some other series. Those are probably the biggest names there. You'll also see big name creators. This has won multiple Eisners. They've now cut it down a few pages and is only $4.99, whereas previously it was, I think, an $8 book.
Yeah.
So they've cut probably the page count and the price in half here for everybody. Hopefully going to have more people join on. A lot of those miniseries that people were loving from Dark Horse Comics were originally from the Dark Horse Presents.
Exactly. Check that out, guys. Another one is popular on TV and been getting a lot of good reviews. The Strain, The Night Eternal, number 1 hits this week from Dark Horse. It's an ongoing series, and this is the final chapter of the Strain storyline here in comic form.
I will say it's not an ongoing series. It's ongoing in that there have been 3 parts. This is the 3rd part, and it is finite.
Okay, there we go. So, guys, but we take a look at the future, where the Master has conquered the world, and we still got Dr. Ephraim still trying to fight against them, find a way to defeat these vampire creatures, to find a way to actually defeat the Master. And if you've been watching this series or know this, you know who or what that is. I've been enjoying the series myself. It's been kind of crazy and kind of good. But guys, fans of that will want to check out The Strain, Night Eternal, number 1, hitting the shelf this week.
And if I'm to believe this guy and whoever that was you were talking to the other day, vampires, whatever, supposed to taste like turkey. I don't know if they're telling me the truth or if they're just trying to gross me out while I'm trying to eat and listening to them talking about dissecting things. Not fun. Next up for me, coming from DC Comics, we have Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman number 1. This is a digital first comic. Much like Batman 66, Amy, Kami, Girls, and a couple of other ones that DC's put out there. This first issue, they're going to have just, I think, rotating creators doing things. This first issue has Gail Simone and Ethan Van Sciver on board.
Yeah.
They're giving you a story about Oracle contacting Diana and telling her she needs her help because the whole Bat family has been sidelined. What sidelined them, I don't know, but you get to see Wonder Woman verse the Batman Rogue Gallery.
Nice.
So that's going to be fun. There's a backup story as well. Sorry, didn't write that down. I don't know, people are probably most interested about the fact that Gail Simone and Ethan Van Sciver are giving us this main story here.
Yeah, yeah.
Not saying backup guys. You're not saying that. Just saying that's the big draw.
Your work is still valid.
Yeah.
Moving on, the last one I got for the new number ones. I had to mention this because it's some of the Golden Age. It has a Golden Age aspect to it, but we look at Justice Incorporated number 1, a 6-issue miniseries that's going to be hitting the shelf. And this is a team up of the Shadow, Doc Savage, and the Avenger with this series. Michael Uslan, Giovanni Timpano, and this is through Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It's going to be hitting the shelf. So guys, the fan of pulp heroes, pulp noir heroes, this is going to be right up your alley. A 6-issue miniseries that teams up the Shadow, Doc Savage, and the Avenger for 6 issues.
Yeah, they're facing off against, I guess, their villains that have somehow created a plan that's causing all sorts of death and destruction here. It causes them to team up. So that is it.
Did you didn't have any of the number ones? I thought you did. That's okay.
Nope. I will say, guys, guys. I'm going to say guys this time because I also say the word. We also will see Lil Nemo has another relaunch here from IDW. That's another fun little book from way back in the day that they're the art looks beautiful on it. So
yeah,
you may want to check that out.
Yeah.
Tony Rodriguez, I think, is the artist on board.
Okay.
There.
Very cool. Very cool. Guys, moving on. We are now going to be talking about our favorites. These are the books that we pick up that Brandy and I personally get. And these are usually the ones that we read at the top of the stack the week that they come out. But before we dive into that, we're going to talk to you about our favorite from last week. And there will probably be spoilers coming up here. So, Randy, last week, what was your favorite book from last week?
Last week, Avengers Undercover number 8. Favorite book. Love what they're doing here. They had a guest artist. The art, though, fit with Kev Walker's style. I like that. Mm-hmm. I like where we see the characters 3 months later. One seems to be hanging out in jail with someone a little familiar there. Two seem to be getting along quite swimmingly there. Another one seems to be loving her dead boyfriend who somehow is alive, and you have a shocking betrayal. Did not expect that. With things, you have someone that's MIA right now. We don't know where he is, and then you have someone who we're seeing has been played, has been a pawn, and it looks like when all is said and done, all of these guys have been a pawn there. They were not let into this world knowingly, and or they were let in knowing everything that was going to be going on there, and like a finely tuned piano, they were played. So I love the complexity of this story, and I love just how seamlessly Dennis Hopeless has weaved this story.
Yes.
As you said last week, I'm going to be sad to see this one go. It's ending way too soon.
Yes, that's one. Yes. For me, it really was a toss-up between Hulk number 5 and then Batman 34. But I think Batman 34 is going to edge it out for me. It was such a refreshing standalone issue. Scott Snyder and Jerry Duggan co-wrote, and Matteo Scalero was perfect for Batman art. And that art was great. I really enjoyed it. But then the storyline itself of who Batman was after, why he was after him, and how he dealt with this particular menace to Gotham society, I really enjoyed that. It was nice to get just the story in one issue.
Right.
We've been getting these big storylines for so long with Batman and stuff. Yes, exactly. And it was really nice to get it all, to get everything. I mean, you grasped the villain, you grasped Batman's motivation behind taking him down. It really was so cohesive. Cool. It was really nice. So I'm going to give Batman 34 my pick for last week, and we're going to move on to what we're looking forward to from this week. What's up for you,
First
bro?
up for me, Miss Marvel number 7 hits the shelves. This continues the team up of the century. Kamala and Wolverine. They are taking on the mysterious inventor. We're hopefully going to get to find out a little more about just who exactly the inventor is. Can Kamala keep it together, or will she geek out here with her, one of her top 5 favorites in the superhero community? So we'll see. The book, little book that could. I love this book so much. Can't promote it enough.
That's cool. For me, Magneto number 8 hits the shelf this week. Love this series, and then with this particular issue, we're taking a look at Magneto. The fact that he used to be the true master at magnetism, but with events that have happened, his powers have been diminished, and how he's been trying to adjust and cope with that. But this issue looks at what he may actually do to put himself on top of again, to actually be the master of magnetism like he was before the changes took place. And I've been really enjoying this. You guys should get on board Magneto.
Yeah, definitely. I still question the whole power thing.
I know.
There's so much with the power that I'm like, I want an answer. For so long when Guardians started back up, it's like, but Star-Lord was dead.
Right.
And they're finally going to give us that answer. I want answers with the Magneto power thing, because if everybody else's powers are getting fixed and they found the root of those problems, why haven't we found that to be the case with Magneto either?
Maybe they'll explore that with this series.
I'm hoping they do explore that. I'm still hoping they go back to the House of M, where he did not get his powers back, and suddenly he has powers. So we'll see. Next up for me, Fables number 143 comes out. This is really kind of the wind down of this series, because it ends with 150. Okay. But in this, we have the inevitable battle between Rose Red and Snow White that is going to happen. Everybody seems to know that, except for these two. Or maybe they do, or they've heard, but they don't want to admit, or they want to try and avoid. So when it does happen, is it going to be a personal fight between these two, or is it going to be an all-out war that involves all of the Fables? We want to figure that out, find that out. This is, I think, the storyline called Happily Ever After, and right now it doesn't seem too happy. So we'll get that figured out. Plus, there's also Big B is back. He's running around, and he's not the same person there. We'll figure out why.
So you think this will be one of those series that you wish you could have got more of?
This has gone on for 150, will have gone on for 150 issues there. I think that they have really done a good job. One of the best things they've done with this is that he takes a character that you're not expecting much from and creates them this story that they are the ultimate hero. And it is the best that could have been done for that character. I mean, Boy Blue, Big Bad Wolf, Snow White, the Fly Prince, all of them. It's just been amazing how he's taken them and made you love these characters.
Cool. Very cool. Moving on, guys. For me, Supreme Blue Rose, number 2.
Yes.
Diane Dane, Darius Dax on the hunt for Ethan Crane. And Darius Dax decides to take Diane. Lots of D's here, a lot of alliteration going on a road trip that really takes her on a trip to look at the nature of the universe. So I'm digging this. I kind of expected something out there with Warren Ellis and this concept and this story, but it's been surprisingly accessible to me. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I want to see. I just want to see how Darius Dax interprets all this. Yeah,
I really enjoyed the first issue, but I'm gonna lay something out here for the artist and the colorist on this. The art is beautiful. The back pages there that had the black and white, gorgeous. Loved it. The overlaying of whatever these lines are, I'm sure there is some sort of an image that is there, but it's real tough to tell.
Yeah.
It's real tough to tell, and it's distracting from the other part of the story. And that, to me, was the only downside to it.
Yeah.
Because, and when I saw those back pages there, the black and white, I was like, oh, this is gorgeous. I wish I could have that without everything that I thought was wind. But I'm pretty sure it's some image that I don't know how to make out the image or how to create the image because the pages turn like this. It's not folded out into one thing that you can see or tell. So it's just distracting there, and I wish that it was less so.
I kind of wondered if I should have read it with 3D glasses.
That almost, is one of the things that I gathered from that. Like, maybe that's what we're supposed to have. I don't know. Last up for me, Storm #2 comes out. I enjoyed this. This here, Storm is putting herself kind of at odds with the rest of the X-Men because whereas they are recognizing nations' boundaries and the nations possibly wanting or not wanting mutants within their borders, Storm has said, screw it. No, I am bigger than that, and my mission is bigger than that. It is to help people. You're not helping people. I will do so. Her sights are set this issue on New York City, and more specifically the sewers. The Morlocks. Youth are disappearing, and Storm's going to go exploring. She looks to be running into one of her favorite people, and one of the people who she's possibly their favorite as well, Callisto. So that'll be an interesting to see here. As far as the art goes, I'm also going to have a little thing to say here. Nothing intended by I don't want anybody to misconstrue some sort of like racist comments here, but I like the fact that this artist can draw Storm to look like a black woman, not a woman who is just colored by the colorist as black, but she has characteristics and definitions there that you see as being common with a black woman, and I like that. It makes sense to me.
Exactly. You don't see that too often. You see even some of my favorite artists, all their men look the same, all their women look the same. They're just colored differently or whatever it may be. So
it happens, and I understand that. But I like when an artist is successful at doing so.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, very cool. Last up for me, The Wicked and the Divine, #3 hits the shelf. Laura is now on the search, on the prowl for the Morrigan. And with the end of that last issue, we saw what happened down there in the tunnels.
Yes.
So that was kind of crazy and insane. But I love this. To find out what's going on with this book, read the comic that people are literally calling the one by Gillen McKelvey Wilson with the very long title. I love that. That's true awesome. Gillen fashion there for the solicitation. Great artwork, great story so far. I'm digging it. You should be checking it out.
Yeah, definitely.
What else for you, bro? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it, guys. That wraps it up. We are Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games. You can always check out our website, ExcaliburCCG.com. We're located here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and in Texarkana, Texas. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't. Give us a thumbs up. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. And be sure and log in and tell us, answer the question of the week. We want to know what comic series, comic miniseries ended too soon for you that you want to see more of and read more of. Tell us below. And guys, we really appreciate it. Help us break that 400 subscriber barrier. We're trying to move on, move past that to new heights. And we really appreciate you watching. Until next time, be safe, take care, read great comics, and we will see you in our next video.